You know you've got that thing that makes the girls all swing. You know
So this is my project. And if you didn't know, if you don't know me for anything, this is my girl. She gave me this picture. She wants me to draw it. So essentially, I am commissioning it. Trying to get the colors together. So if you look at the picture, look at the colors. Having a bit of difficulties with just the skin tones there. Not sure how I'm gonna get everything to blend. I know, taking color theory, they always say, you know, everything is not just, you know, straightforward. So there's always, you know, some different variations. So I know that there's some blue undertones, like right in this area, and maybe under the eye, you know, around the mouth for sure there's some blue undertones. But then she has a lot of yellows too, so I think I found the color for that. But let me just use my pen and point. But then there's this area right here. I'm really kind of like, I don't know how to tackle that because none of these colors really work out. This color might work out, maybe not. And then there's this smock that she wears. This is definitely not the color. But then I'm looking at this and this, and I might need to add just a little bit more blue. So let's see, maybe instead of making it burgundy, like the Tuscan red, I can just maybe add another blue. And the lilac really doesn't do too much, but the blue slate, which is this right here, the blue slate really does kind of do that. So I might need to layer over and over and over like the Tuscan red, and then layer some blue slate on there too, just to kind of deepen it and give it some more dimension. So this is my project. Starting to work on it. Been very scared to tackle it because, you know, it's different when you're doing it because you like it, because it's fun. It's different. As an example, this was one of my projects that I started on before, and I had fun with it. I did not have any kind of like misconceptions on what I was going to do. I kind of like saw the picture. This is actually one of my own pictures. I had the picture, I sketched it out, as you can see right to like this picture right here. Didn't really too much care how the face came out, so I made sure that when I did the final project that I would actually, you know, fix the face. I also played around with the leg positioning, really wasn't too sure on how I was going to do the body, and the shoe was like way too big, and you know, I really had to play with it and take some thought and look at the angles. You know, everything has shapes. So you have this rectangle right here, you have this oval right here, you have this rectangle right here, the hands, as you can see clearly I did is shapes. Then you have the hair. It looks like she has two big buns there, but it's actually one big bun. It's kind of cut off, the picture is. But anyway, so that was just my rough sketch. And as you can see, this is the final project. So let's put these two side by side. This is a different book that I used to actually finish it out. So there's the first picture. There's my rough sketch. I did that with this ballpoint ink pen. I do most of my like really rough, if I'm doing a project, my really rough sketches with my ballpoint pen. So I know that there's no room for error, and I just keep going over and over and over again until I get it right. And another process of mine is just to kind of map out the colors, what I want the skin tone to be. Of course, you see the black and white picture here, but I have the real picture. I tried my best not to like mimic it perfectly, because then I would be like in the situation that I'm in right now, just trying my hardest to make it perfect, but nothing in life is perfect. But anyway, let me stop rambling. So first picture, rough sketch, and then move over to the final product. Now the final product is, I'm so very proud of it. Let me move the light over here. I'm so very proud of it. I have so many people saying, you know, you did a great job. Proportion wise, it's not the same. Like, I mean, it kind of sort of is, but I took some creative liberty with it. See, like here, she had on some nude shoes, but you know, you don't see it in there. But if you look over here, you know, I made it my own. Sorry about my background. Sorry about my background. My kids are around right now, but you know, this is my process. So this is my final product, and I'm not going to change it any kind of way. Probably will frame this and put it up on my wall somewhere up in here. You know, that's my picture I did when I was in high school. Another picture I did when I was in high school. That's actually a photo. That's some etching on some metal stuff, and you know, this is my table. But you know, that's my product. So let's go back to the original thing at hand. So again, with the original work, I do have a black and white copy of it, which, you know, let me go get that real quick. Let me get the black and white copy of it off of my bed. So this is how I'm going to study it. I'm going to study, you know, shapes. This is basically a triangle, you know, study everything in a way of shapes. Because when I keep looking at the picture itself, I get in trouble. And actually, I did the picture and the sketch that's up underneath it. I'm actually really afraid to show it, but I'm going to show it anyway. My sketches are really rough to begin with. As you can see on this page, I'm just rough. But it looks nothing like it. Nothing. I mean, maybe a similarity, but oh my god, it's horrible. But by the final product, I am hoping to get it right. But the colors don't look bad, but I'm not satisfied with it. So of course, again, I used my Bic to do my rough sketch, and I'm going to go back to, you know, my other page that I'm working on here. Oh, that's another work of mine, but that's for another day. We'll talk about that another day. We'll go back over here and see if we can kind of match up some colors. I'm not really too happy with any of the colors. I know it's going to take a lot of layering, and if you don't know, my process is to use my markers. This is the collection of my markers. I really don't have very many. I'm just using what I have. So, you know, I gotta work with what I got. Work with what I got, essentially. Again, so I do apologize, but my son up there, he's just having a grand old time. So, the next thing you will see is basically me incorporating this into a big board. So, I plan on using my Bristol vellum, and the funny thing is, I did not buy this. This is leftover from 2012. This is 2017 now. This is leftover from 2012, from when I was still at the Art Institute of Atlanta. But the reason I love it is because it's thick. It's big enough. And it's pretty thick. I don't know if you can tell by that, just seeing in between my fingers, it's pretty thick. I don't have to worry about the bleeding through, although it doesn't matter because this is going to be where I put my final project. But let me show you something else as well. Another thing I tend to do is before I start to ink, or before I start to kind of lay down my color, I use, you know, my Prisma color pencil. I love this thing because it really does help me, you know, kind of lay down the bridge work to what I'm going to do. It's erasable, which is awesome. Sorry, it stopped recording, but it's erasable, which is really great. So what I do is, I start to ink. This is another project that I probably will have to do over again because, as you can see, the lines are horrible, and I'm not going to put a marker on top of that. But then there's this one that I kind of fell in love with, and then I didn't like. I hate it. So many people love it, but I hate it because it's just like, I have done better work since then. But it's one of the first ones. But I'll do a sketchbook tour later. But in the meantime, I can't wait to get started with this project. My girl, she's like really wanted me to do this picture of her. I'm like, why can't you send me one that you're smiling in? But it's okay. I love to just keep myself busy. So I'm going to not use my extra large book here. I'm just going to use my Canon Bristol board paper to do my final project on. But yeah, let's get started. All right. Until next time.